So you want to be PMP certified and you're wondering what are the steps that you need to take to become PMP certified. Before I start, I just want to mention that globally, there's about 1.25 million people that are certified, and that number seems to be going up on a monthly basis. Why? Because the PMP is by far the most recognizable brand of credential that a project manager should have. If you are a serious PM and you have lots of experience, then you need to back it up with a PMP certification. Now, the process of obtaining a PMP, it feels like a long path, but really it isn't. So what you have to do is get 35 hours of education. And this you can get from authorized training partners like us who are approved by PMI to provide the course, or you can do your self-reading, self-study, and you'll have to justify those 35 hours of education to PMI. There is an application process later on to qualify for taking the exam. And one of the requirements is the attendance certificate that you get from us, ATPs, authorized training partners, that says you have attended 35 hours of training in the PMP. These days, the material is provided by PMI, so it is thorough and covers everything that you need. Can you study by yourself? You can. I've produced other videos before where I stated that if you study from PMBOK 6, and these are the same, I have lots of videos on PMBOK 6 that you can watch. If you study these and you study the Agile Practice Guide, which also comes packaged together with the PMBOK 6, that's all you really need. Study these, go over some keywords related to Agile if you don't come from an IT background, and you'll find that I have another video related to that. So you can, I don't know which side it's going to show, you can review that video and get familiar with a lot of the terminologies that you need to know when it comes to Agile. So you study with the PMBOK guide, which I have many videos on, actually complete PMBOK guide. It's all in my 45 videos, and you read the Agile Practice Guide, which I don't have a video on at the moment. But you can double check your information when it comes to Agile and other keywords using the 100 keyword video that I also published. I'll try to see, I don't know which side is going to show, but I'll try to put it up there so that you can easily access that. You can study that or attend our course. That gives you the education requirement. So from us, it's automatically approved to PMI. You can easily claim your 35 hours of training. If you do self-study, you can claim it your own way. PMI will need to validate that. So that's why it's not pre-approved. Ours is. So assuming you have the 35 hours of training, the application process that you need to fill out on pmi.org requires the following steps. So you will go to pmi.org, create your profile in there, which doesn't cost anything, just your information, the company you work for, your address, and so on. And then that creates your profile, gives you a login, a username, and a password. And once you have that, if you're ready to apply for the PMP, that you have to go to the certifications, find the button where you can apply for PMP and start the application process. You will apply on their website, and you will need to fill in the information about your project management experience. Now, along with the 35 hours of PMP education or PM education, you need to demonstrate that you have 4,500 hours of leading projects experience. That means you have to have been the one leading the project. You cannot be just a participant on the project. And 4,500 hours essentially translates to 3 years. So they're also looking for 36 months of experience. They don't have to be back to back, but they need to have been in the last 8 years. So they could have been spread out, but you need to demonstrate 36 months of leading projects and 4,500 hours. Along with these, you need a university degree, a 4-year degree. If you don't have a 4-year degree, let's say you have something less than that, a diploma or something, or an associate's degree, then you need to demonstrate longer experience, which I think is the equivalent of 5 years, but you can check it on pmi.org. So if you can document that you have a 4-year degree and you have 36 months / 4,500 hours of experience minimum, you can have more, obviously, and you have the 35 hours of training, education in PMP-related studies, then you can apply. The application to PMI for the PMP doesn't cost anything, does not put any obligation on you. Once you apply, it takes PMI a few days, sometimes, really fast, but it takes a few days. And then they give you back a response that your application is approved. If your application is approved, you have 1 year to have taken the exam and passed the exam. Okay, so in that 1 year, what you need to do is study the, either you've done your self-study or you've attended our course. If you attended our course, then you need to study the material that we provide you, which comes from PMI. Check it yourself, make sure you're familiar with it. We also provide you with mock exams, so you practice with the mock exams. Once you feel comfortable, then you can pay the fees. Remember, you've already been approved by PMI to sit the exam. They just need you to pay and schedule your exam. So at that point, you pay the exam fees. The exam fees will cost you $555 if you are not a PMI member. Now, a lot of people don't know what membership means. It does not mean you're PMP certified. It means you paid the membership fee. So when you pay the membership fee, it gives you membership for 1 year on PMI.org, gives you access to some resources, tools, and you can download all of the standards that they have, not just the PIM book, but every standard that PMI has, along with some white papers and some other resources. Now, the cost for the PMI membership is $139 the first year, and then it's renewable at $129 each year after that. Now, when you paid $139 the first year, you will get a discount on the PMP, $150 discount. So essentially, you're more than getting your money back. So for the first year, I highly recommend that you take the membership and you'll have membership for a whole year, download all the standards that you want, and you will be able to take the exam for $150 less. That means 555 minus 150, you'll pay $405 for the exam. If by chance you don't pass the exam, also you're paying a discounted fee when you retake the exam. Now, if you pay for the exam, the $405 for members, if you're a non-member, $555, then once that payment is done, you are going to have you're going to get a message from PMI that you can now schedule your exam. You need to go from their website, okay? You will schedule the exam. It's not like you have to call any center or look for the centers, but you will schedule the exam through the PMI portal. The exam these days is being done online. It doesn't mean online that you can cheat, because online is a proctored exam, which means that they're going to have you take your laptop, turn it around, up, down, to make sure there's nobody else with you in the room, and you can't talk while you're doing this. So you are going to be monitored, and they could disqualify you if they ever sense that you're cheating on this exam. The exam is going to be done in 3 parts online. Each is going to have 60 questions, and you'll have 70 minutes to do this. So 60 questions and 70 minutes. So just over 1 minute for every question. And then you'll have a 10-minute break after that, then another 60 questions, 10-minute break, another 60 questions. Mind you, when you submit your response for the 60 questions, for the first portion and second portion and so on, you're not going to be able to go back to those same questions. So you need to make sure these are your final answers when you submit them. You will not get graded on the first 60 or the second. The only time you're going to be graded is once you submit the last 60 questions. You would have answered 180 questions. At that point, you will know if you passed or failed. It will tell you on the screen, and you can get a printout if you want. It tells you if you did above target and so on, but it tells you if you passed the exam. So 60 questions, 70 minutes, and you do this 3 times, and you'll have 180 questions, 210 minutes. Okay. It's mostly, in case you're wondering the nature of the questions, it's mostly multiple choice, but you also have some heat map questions, meaning they'll ask you to click on something on the screen, on a chart or something. You also have, matching information from one side to another, but the majority is going to be multiple choice. For studying for these questions, the mock exams that we provide are sufficient, and the PMP material that you get in the training will also be sufficient. If you did your self-study, PIM Book 6, the PIM Book 6, when you go through all of the knowledge areas, or if you watch my videos, the videos and the PIM Book 6 is going to be more intense than the nature of the questions that you get on the exam. The reason is the exam only covers 50% of the old PIM book material, and 50% is going to be agile style. All right. For you to get the agile portion of it, that's why you need to read the Agile Practice Guide and refresh, or maybe get more information on some of the keywords pertaining to agile and so on. And that's where I have that 100 keyword video. You want to look at that. But either way, I mean, if you study the PIM Book 6, even though it's more intense than what you're going to see on the exam, it is more than enough. All right. What you don't want to worry about too much is calculations. People have been telling me that they're not getting a lot of calculations. So things like earned value, early start, early finish, things like that. I wouldn't worry too much about it. You're probably going to get 1 or 2 questions that are calculations. Other than that, I don't think you're going to get them. With the new exam that started in 2021, there's a lot of focus on the people side. So teams, ground rules, stakeholders, they focus on these things. So you need to understand them. Also the agile side, sprint, scrum, Kanban. These are some of the things that you need to know. All right. My previous video should guide you enough. All right. So now you take the exam immediately. You know if you're certified. You can immediately claim that you're PMP certified, and that certification is good for 3 years. Okay. Now, at the end of 3 years, you do not need to take the exam again. Okay. But what you have to do in the 3 years is you need to maintain that certification. To maintain it, you need to show an average of 20 development hours, a total of 60 minimum development hours in the last in 3 years after your certification. You need to show 60. Well, that's not 60. You need to show 60 development hours, which could be trainings that you attend. So a couple of trainings that are 30 PDUs each. Let's say you attend a program management course, a risk management course, each 30 PDUs. There you go, you got it covered. There's other criteria of, how you can claim PDUs towards that 60 PDU, but you need 60 PDUs and a payment. I don't know if it's $60, $80, but that you do at the end of the 3-year cycle, and you can renew your PMP. If you do not renew, you will go into disciplinary mode where you'll be suspended, and you have 1 year of up to 1 year of suspension if you still do not show 60 self-development hours or improvement, which again could be just a couple of trainings or even self-reading, self-training that you can do yourself. So don't let your PMP go. If you don't do it within that 1 year of suspension time, that would have made 4 years where you do not claim the PDUs, you lose the PMP. All right. And that would be really sad because you would have worked so hard for that PMP, and all you had to do is show that you developed yourself for 60 hours. Again, could be self-reading on related books, could be a couple of courses with organizations that like us, ATPs, authorized training partners. Well, that's the whole story about the PMP. The final thing before I go away, is it still needed, the PMP? Is it still important? Does it still carry the same weight? The answer is yes. Don't fool yourself. It is still needed. Your employer, if they look at your CV or resume and they see that you don't have the PMP and somebody else has the PMP, that's going to draw attention to the other person. A lot of times, applications, when you're applying, the employer gets it in volume, the applications, and they screen all of these resumes or CVs, whatever you call it. They will screen for keywords, and they might screen for the PMP, especially if your job has something to do with projects. So should you get the PMP? Again, yes, please do get your PMP. Yes, you have a university degree, but you need your PMP. These days, it's almost a must because almost everything that we do is project related, and the PMP is highly respected. One final tip, this time around, this is 2022 November, the exam is at its easiest. Okay, this is the easiest time to pass the PMP. You don't take it now, this could change next year. Okay, I'm not trying to scare you or anything. There's nothing that I need from you at this time, but I want you to do what's good for yourself. Take it as soon as possible. We've been informed that the material will change next year, at least our material. So before we see it, we wouldn't know, but it could mean that it has changes for you guys. So at this time, as far as I've seen, almost everybody that is taking the exam is able to pass, even people who I wouldn't have thought they can pass the exam are passing the exam. So I strongly encourage you to go and sit the exam as soon as possible. All right, that's it for now. If you still have questions, you can put your questions down below. I do respond to everybody, and I want what's the best for you. Anything at all, just reach out to me. I'll help you in the process of becoming PMP certified. Until the next video, I thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please click the like button, or as they say, smash the like button, but don't smash your computer screen or your phone. And if you think others can benefit from this video, please share with them. If you're not a subscriber and you like these topics, I would appreciate it if you can click the subscribe button and click the notification bell so that I can share more of these videos with you. Thank you for watching. My name is Edward Shihab, and I appreciate you watching my video. Take care. Until next time. Bye-bye.